card to labels, giant posters, banners, and displays. They've got a brand new top quality photo poster printer that makes your image stand out from the crowd. No job is too big or too small, and no job is finished until you're delighted. For work, for home, for everything you need printed. Local Copies, etc. at the corner of Enos and Broadway, and online at localcopies.com or call 928-5776. Local Copies, etc.
Not only news, but in-depth information about the Central Coast. This is Information Now with Ben Heighes on the Information Station, AM 1440 KUHL Santa Maria.
Good morning, 7:33. Information Now. Coming up, we'll check in with California news and, of course, some other news of the day. But right now, it's time to talk food with our favorite grocery gal, Amy Goldsmith. Amy's helped to launch and grow some of the most well-known brands that many of us eat or at least see on the grocery shelves daily. She's a food industry insider and lives her life as a food finder, looking for the best new products and trends. You can follow Amy and direct message her any questions through Facebook and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. First of all, Amy, welcome back to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
How was that earthquake this morning down in Southern California?
It woke me up. I'm not going to lie. I definitely felt it. Absolutely.
Wow, quite a jolt. And I guess this was, every time we have those early morning earthquakes, it always reminds me of the Northridge quake, because I think that was about 4:30 in the morning, too.
It was. Yeah. And it was, I think, the same location. I haven't watched the news to know if it's the same fault, but I know the epicenter was very close to that.
Wow. All right. Well, kind of scary there, but I'm glad you're okay. So, Amy, we had a listener call in and wanted to know more about breakfast cereal. So it's a favorite to everyone. But I guess the question is it good for you? And how do you select a cereal? So we thought we'd go to the expert for this one.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Well, cereal, I can talk about cereal for hours. It's such an interesting aisle in the supermarket. There are about 100 different cereal brands.
Wow.
And each one of those brands has many flavors, and those flavors have flavors. So there's really an infinite selection. And it's certainly one of the most colorful aisles in the supermarket, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty, and there's characters and things to entice you to buy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, of course. Adults love it. Kids love it. And look, you can eat cereal any time of the day. But really, like you said, how do you choose? What's really interesting about the cereal category is that prior to COVID-19, the demand for cereal had actually decreased for the past 5 years through 2019, in part because low-carb diets like keto and paleo have grown in popularity, and so that's limited the number of consumers buying cereal. And then, of course, there's health-conscious consumers who really want cereals with healthy, super healthy ingredients. And also prior to COVID, when the economy was stronger and people were going out, consumers used their disposable incomes to buy premium breakfast foods like breakfast sandwiches from restaurants. So that was part of the shifting, toward convenient, portable, on-the-go food. But, what a difference a few months make, huh?
Oh, no kidding.
So here we go. Cereal is on the rise, and the global breakfast cereal market is expected to grow about 3% a year to reach about $40 billion in 2023.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. People are more homebound and not going to Starbucks for a breakfast sandwich or something like that, so they're turning to more comfort foods, so that's where cereal kind of comes in. Convenience, as they may not be on the go, but are they sick of cooking and doing the dishes? I wonder if cereal is really the solution here.
I mean, look, cereal is so fun. It's delicious. And yes, all cereal is not created equal. But one of the biggest problems with cereal is the person pouring it. Do you measure how much cereal you pour into your bowl?
Never. I usually fill it up until I can't put any more cereal in the bowl, and then the milk's got to fit in there somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Me too. I eyeball what bowl I want to use, and then I pour what I think I'm hungry for. And I can assure you, unless you are measuring, you are pouring 2 cups at least or more into that bowl. Listen to this. The nutritionals on the box are for 1 cup. So let me put this into perspective. It's portion control. American Heart Association recommends a maximum of 25 grams of sugar, that's 6 teaspoons for women daily, or 9 teaspoons of added sugar for males. Now, most cereal contains more than half of the recommended daily sugar intake for women, more than half, 3 teaspoons, right? So more than 3 teaspoons for women in 1 serving. So when we eat more than 1 cup of cereal, when we're dumping it into that bowl, guess what? We just ate all the sugar we're supposed to eat for the day. And it's probably not even 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
So,
Wow.
right? So we need to measure. And if you measure, you will be shocked at how little a 1 cup serving is. So once we get those portions under control, like you asked, how do we select? Well, the obvious high sugar cereals are very obvious, right? We know that like Honey Smacks and Trix and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Oreos and Churros and Lucky Charms and Fruity Pebbles and Frosted Flakes, they all have high sugar, they all have low fiber, they all have low protein, and some even have high fructose corn syrup or trans fat. But these are kind of obvious.
Oh, yeah.
You agree? Yeah, okay. But there are some that aren't so obvious, and I'm going to like wreck your world right now. One of the favorites, even one of my favorites, Kellogg's Raisin Bran,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's for raisins, isn't it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly why you need to read labels. Kellogg's Raisin Bran is supposedly this healthy cereal, and it actually contains some of the most sugar of all the cereals on the list.
Wow.
It has 18 grams of sugar per cup. Now, mind you, there are raisins, so that accounts for some of the sugar. But Kellogg's Raisin Bran is also higher in calories. It contains high fructose corn syrup. But what kind of throws off the equation is that it has high fiber. So it has 7 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein. But it has 13 grams of added sugar. Now, remember, I'm a female and has no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar.
So you're way over that now. Yeah.
I'm 25 grams. I mean, this is 13 grams of added sugar. So you may ask me, what about the Post Raisin Bran compared to maybe the Kellogg's Raisin Bran? Post Raisin Bran, by comparison, has slightly more sugar, but it's less added sugar, and it does not have high fructose corn syrup. So you just need to read those labels. I know I see it all the time, but this is a great example of why. Another brand known for its health is Kashi, but not all Kashi is equal. You need to read the labels on Kashi depending on the flavor. It often has a long list of ingredients, and look, if I don't recognize what that ingredient is, I don't want it.
Yeah, we are speaking to Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith. We're talking about breakfast cereal, or the cereal that you eat at different times of the day. It's we're trying to tell you maybe that it's kind of all the same. Make sure to read the labels out there. So it is a bit surprising about Raisin Bran. So is there any breakfast cereal that is really good for you, or are they all bad?
So the only truly, I would say, healthy, better for you cereal is muesli. Muesli is made with oats and dried fruits and nuts. But let's be realistic. Most of us are going to grab a box of cereal and it's processed. So we need to look for low sugar, and you want high fiber and you want higher protein. I look for a minimum of 3 grams of fiber and a minimum of 3 grams of protein. And that's still low, but that's baseline. Don't go lower than that. And also, don't be scared of fats like that you would see in granola. If they come from good sources, like in a granola with nuts and seeds, you're okay. But you still really need to remember that the cereal is a processed food. It's not a food group. So you want fiber, you want protein, which helps you feel full, and then you won't eat as much. Look for whole grains or oats and vitamins and minerals as well, and read the ingredients. Look, Lucky Charms, they have whole grains, but the rest is garbage. So you really need to read what's in those ingredient lists. And traditional brands that we all know that are better for you, here are a few. Grape Nuts, Total, which is whole grain, Wheaties, Cheerios, Quaker Oats, Whole Oats, Corn Check, shredded wheat. But check sodium. It's processed. So while Grape Nuts is pretty clean and it checks kind of all the boxes, it has a lot of sodium. And there are other countless newer brands that are natural and better for you brands. Barbara's Puffins, Bob's Red Mill Muesli, and Bob's Red Mill Steel Oats, Seven Sundays Muesli, Bare Naked Granola, Uncle Sam Skinner's Raisin Bran, Ezekiel's Sprouted Grain Cereal, Cascadian Farms, some of the Whole Foods 365 brands like their Wheat Squares, and Enviro Kids. These, again, are newer brands in the market, but you got to read those labels.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some of those brands, I mean, you hear something like, steel cut oats, or even something that's got raisins in it. I mean, you're tended to say, oh, maybe that is healthy, but I guess it really comes down to, like you said, reading the labels and how much sugar is in them.
That's right. So I'm staring at a box of Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch right now, and it has the ingredients, and it's whole grain wheat and sugar, rice, raisins, blah, blah, blah. And then right below it, just a little below the main ingredient panel, it says contains 2% or less of, and there it is, corn syrup.
Ah, okay.
So you need to read those labels.
Definitely. Well, anyway, thanks to our listener for calling in with that question about breakfast cereal. And by the way, you can follow Amy and direct message her any questions through Facebook and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. Amy, some great information that certainly opened my eyes to breakfast cereal and what's out there. And we look forward to doing it again with you real soon.
Thanks, and have a great day.
All right, you too. 7:43, don't forget birthdays and anniversary wishes if you've got them. 928-1440 is my number, 928-1440, and we'll get those on right before 8 o'clock this morning. Stand by, we'll check in with world and national news and California news on the way.
Time now for your political insights from ABC News. The standoff between racial justice protesters and federal law enforcement officers in Portland, Oregon, appeared to reach a conclusion after the state's governor said Wednesday that those agents would be leaving. But acting Deputy DHS Secretary Ken Cuccinelli said that's